The Eagles just got a whole bunch of surprising news before taking on the Chiefs, as both Philly and KC are dealing with some major injuries, and the latest news coming from both sides has the potential to completely change this game. And so does the latest update coming from AJ Brown, as he just gave Eagles fans the best possible news ahead of Week 2, and it seems like he could be primed for a bounce-back performance. Plus, which Eagle could be set up for a revenge game in Week 2? How can Saquon Barkley and the Birds improve the run game? And what are the biggest keys to victory for the Birds in this heavyweight matchup with KC? Well, let's talk about that and all the other news leading into this Week 2 matchup starting right now. So we are just a couple days away from the Eagles and Chiefs Week 2 NFL matchup, and I could not be more fired up for it. And while obviously a lot of the talk is about this being a Super Bowl rematch and all the hype that comes with that, as expected, the Eagles themselves have made it clear. This is not a Super Bowl rematch, or at least they're not thinking about it that way.
It's just another opportunity for us. You know, that's been my approach on it. We know we're playing a really good team. It's a new team, and we're a new team. But just approaching it with that mentality and just taking really a day at a time with our preparation.
Honestly, from our perspective, it's just like we're focused on this game and using that just as like a regular old film.
Watching the film with that in mind, is it slightly more enjoyable, like going back and watching?
Enjoyable?
The Super Bowl
man, that is what it is. You know, they beat us too, so you can look at it like that too. So I mean, I don't think none of that really matters. I think we just execute. Everybody, of course, everybody's gonna play hard. Everybody's gonna bring it.
That's in the past. We move on from it. You know, they might have some feelings in their heart because how the game went, but you know, even if you have that feeling, it lasts probably for 5 seconds, and then you realize it's a new game.
I'm not excited. It's just the next game, Gabs. Just the next game. Just excited to do my job, face this opponents.
Yeah, I mean, this goes without saying, but that's obviously the exact right mentality for these guys to have. Like, obviously, yes, they've been looking at tape from the Super Bowl, they've been learning from that game, but it's all in preparation to make sure they're as ready as possible for the game this week. I mean, this is the most important game of their season, not because it's a Super Bowl rematch, but because it is the next game. And it's not like they're caught up in the past and fixated on the accomplishment of that, nor is this game elevated because it's a rematch of the Super Bowl. No, they understand that this game this week is entirely separate from that, and everyone seems to be locked in on the work and the preparation so that come Sunday, they can go out and get the win to start the season 2-0. So drop a like down below for that. Let's see if we can get to at least 500 likes today. And also, if you're hyped for this game, go hit the brand new hype button down below, because that helps me out a ton as well. Moving on though, what is interesting about this game is that it's kind of almost like a division game with how familiar these two teams are with each other. I mean, like I said in my last video, this is now going to be the 5th year in a row where the Eagles and Chiefs play each other, which is a record for interconference matchups. So that amount of familiarity definitely has an impact and will no doubt play a factor going into this game.
And the familiarity with the Chiefs help in the situation at all?
Yeah, you know, we're familiar with them and they are familiar with us. I don't want to get into scheme, but like I said, it's kind of like, honestly, like playing a division game. You know, this is, and it's so recent.
In addition to AJ's comments, reporter Zach Berman also noted that in the lead up to the game, the Eagles have discussed the Chiefs in the locker room as if they were a division opponent, again, due to the familiarity between both sides, which, in my opinion, is just naturally going to make for a more intense, gritty matchup, especially this early in the season between two teams with Super Bowl hopes. So, as a fan, that definitely gets me even more excited for this one. Also, real quick, I want to take a minute to talk to you about the sponsor of today's video, HOF. If you're looking to make smarter, more responsible bets this NFL season, then HOF is the perfect tool for you, as this stats app provides all the numbers, insights, analytics, and probabilities to help you be more informed and make smarter bets. And that's what I really appreciate about it, because, you know, I'm the kind of person that likes to really think through things and make calculated decisions. So whether you're like me or you're the exact opposite and you need a tool to help keep you in check and just help you make more responsible decisions when betting, then the HOF app is great. I mean, say I want to place a bet on the Eagles versus Chiefs game. The HOF app gives me a breakdown of the matchup and all the info that I need to make smart bets. Or, say I want to build a parlay across multiple games, the HOF app shows me the most favorable bets and trends across the league, and the Parlay Optimizer tool shows me any weak links in my parlay. And I can make the bets right there in the app. Honestly, guys, if you are going to sports bet, then I think this is probably the smartest and most responsible way to do it. Again, please, please, please gamble responsibly. I cannot stress that enough. And for a limited time only, you'll get a 7-day free trial and also 50% off your first month when you use code PhillyFan at checkout. Just download the HOF app on iOS or Android, enter code PhillyFan, and you're all set. And again, thank you to HOF for sponsoring today's video. There's no doubt that this is going to be a tough early season matchup for the Eagles. I mean, even though the Chiefs did struggle last week at times, this is still a team with a lot of talent and a winning pedigree. I mean, let's start with the offense. I mean, sure, they had their issues last week against the Chargers, but they also had moments where they looked really, really good. And Patrick Mahomes specifically pulled off some magic in that game while accounting for over 300 total yards and 2 touchdowns. And we know he's capable of doing that at any time. So the Birds obviously are going to have to be prepared for him. They got to be prepared for Travis Kelce. They got to be prepared for the masterful game planning and scheme of Andy Reid. And overall, they're going to have to be prepared for all the challenges that this Chiefs offense presents.
A lot of weapons, just like last year. Tight end, quarterback, receivers, running back. I mean, great offensive line. They've added some pieces there. Still the same old explosive offense we've seen in the past.
Man, you know, they got a different scheme. They doing things different. And I'll just say, man, they still got Pat Mahomes. As long as they got Pat Mahomes, you know, we always got to bring our best foot forward.
Obviously, he's got a great connection with Kelce. You know, they've played together for a long time. You know, so just trying to keep him in the pocket as much as we can. You know, not allow him to get out and, you know, create plays with his feet, whether it's throwing the ball down the field or running. Yeah, it's awesome. You know, when you get to play against one of the game's best, you know, at quarterback. He's been doing it for a long time, so you know, it's a great challenge for us, for our defense. You know, I think everybody's excited for it.
In addition to all that, the Chiefs also got some rather surprising but also really good news on Thursday, as standout young wide receiver Xavier Worthy unexpectedly returned to practice in limited fashion before this Week 2 matchup with Philadelphia. And of course, this came less than a week after Worthy suffered a dislocated shoulder on this play early in the game against the Chargers. And at the time, many people speculated that his season could be over. So to not only get the report that he wasn't going to need surgery or spend time on IR just a few days ago, but to also see him back out there practicing on Thursday with extra padding on that right shoulder was no doubt a huge surprise. And to add on to it, he obviously was out there again on Friday with even less padding on that shoulder, and he was even seen making this one-handed catch. But while this was obviously great news for Worthy and Chiefs fans, it still seems like he's not going to play on Sunday, as he was officially listed as doubtful on the Chiefs' final injury report. So, seems like we won't get to see him this week, but shout out to him for the toughness to come back and practice so quickly, and him likely not playing also definitely does make things a bit easier on the Eagles' defense. That said, whether he does play or not, I still think the key to the Eagles' defense getting the better of this matchup stays the same, and that is to simply pressure Patrick Mahomes and keep him uncomfortable all game long. I mean, we saw in the Super Bowl how that Eagles defense was able to shut down Mahomes and force him into a bunch of mistakes by putting him under duress, and while obviously these are two different teams, I think there's no question that if the Eagles could replicate that to some extent, then they're going to be in a good position to win this game. And I think they're set up well to do that. I mean, just look at how this Eagles defensive line matches up with the Chiefs offensive line. Like, the Eagles have the clear advantage, as the Chiefs O-line, while not terrible, definitely has some question marks, such as their second-year guard Kingsley Suamataia, who's a first-year starter, and their tackle duo of the rookie Josh Simmons and Juwan Taylor. Meanwhile, the Eagles have playmakers across the board, like of course Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Mora Jomo, Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, and Josh Uche that could all potentially exploit these Chiefs' weaknesses. And while I think all these guys could have very good games, I'm going to call it right now. I think the former Chief Josh Uche is going to go off in this one. I mean, we saw what he did last week versus the Cowboys. I mean, again, he didn't have a sack, but he had the highest defensive grade, pass rush grade, and pass rush win rate in the entire NFL in week 1. So this week, going up against some shaky tackles once again, I think he could convert some of those pressures and quarterback hits into sacks and get some measure of quote-unquote revenge versus former team. And someone else who you would think might maybe have a little bit of extra juice for this one is Jalen Carter. As after being ejected last week, Carter's essentially making his season debut this week versus the Chiefs, and depending on where the Eagles line him up in this game from play to play, he could have very favorable matchups. So hopefully he wreaks havoc like we know that he can, and And in regards to the incident that he had last week that got him ejected in the first place, it seems like he and the Eagles are leaving that in the past.
No, I've already expressed my comments on it, and to you guys, I've already expressed my comments on it. I've already had that conversation with him, and so we turned the page on that, and we're onward and forward to this opportunity we have this week.
He's a mature person, so when you go in there, he has to self-reflect, and he has the time to do that. And I'm sure he hated being out there. And I could see it when we went in for halftime and the little delay that he was sick. He was worried sick. And everybody wants to be out here to play. I'm sure when he did that or whatever happened, I don't know what transpired unless I seen it on video, but I'm sure when that happened, it was just kind of just a whirlwind of emotions and stuff like that. And that's football. Football is an emotional sport, but I know that he's going to be back here. He had a great practice today. He's going to be back out here. Just being the same Jalen Carter. He's a disruptive player. He's going to be disruptive, so we just got to get to the game.
Again, I think Carter and the defensive line are possibly the biggest key to winning this game, so glad to hear that they seem to be leaving what happened in the past and just moving on from it. And I'm curious to hear your guys' predictions for Jalen Carter down in the comments below. Do you think he's going to get a sack? How many tackles? How many pressures will he have? Again, just give me your thoughts down in the comments. Moving on though, the newest piece to the Eagles D-line is obviously veteran edge rusher Za'Darius Smith. And a couple days ago, he actually spoke to the media for the first time as an Eagle, and he seems ready to contribute in any way that he can.
What have they told you about what role you're going to fill here in Philadelphia?
We haven't talked about it much. They just really wanted me to get in and basically just get some movement, just get my feet wet on the field again. It's been since January, 14th, since I've been in pads, so this is my first day in pads. I'm not going to say I'm out here to prove nothing, man. I'm just out here to help this team the best way I can, man. We got a lot of younger guys, man, so I can be a mentor to them. Winning, hopefully we can win games to get where we were last year, where they were last year, to where I can get a chance to experience.
I honestly don't have any idea what role Smith is going to have this week, but whatever it is, it definitely sounds like he's excited to be here and he's ready to embrace whatever role he's given. So, again, definitely excited about him, and I do think eventually that he will play significant snaps for this defense. But, again, we'll just have to wait and see what kind of role he has this week. And someone who very well could play significant snaps on offense eventually, even if it's not this week, is the other new addition in running back Tank Bigsby. And he actually spoke to the media for the first time as well this week, where he talked about what he brings to the table, while also saying that he's going to do whatever the coaches ask of him.
I'm just here to do whatever they ask me to do and do my job at the full potential. So whatever they ask me to do, just be on my best at that.
But you had a lot of success returning kicks last year. What do you think about your game makes you a good kick returner?
Just getting downhill, making the guy miss, trying to hit it right now, hit it fast, and don't think about it. Don't tiptoe, don't do none of those things, just hit it. Because the way this kick return set up now is, you see a gap, you can hit it, you can crease it.
What do you like about the newish kickoff, and how do you feel like it works to your strengths?
Because it's like a big old run, really. The defense, they right there, like O-line, and how the D-line right there, so the way they engage. So it's like a big old run, big old zone run, and they run this way, you got opportunity to knife it, they head up, you can make a decision, make an arm tackle, so it's like a big run play there.
How do you approach the running back side of this? What you can contribute in the offense?
Just be me, when I get an opportunity, just be me for this team and come out and compete. Do what Tank do best and do what I have to do for this team. That's my main goal.
How would you describe what Tank does best?
Run the ball, break tackles, and do what I do, run hard, just screen. And use my vision to be who I am, be who God called me to be. And it's a blessing just to be here, like I said before, and I'm thankful for this opportunity.
I think it's obvious that one of Tank's roles for this team is going to be returning kicks, which, by the way, he's been doing that all week during practice, so it'll be interesting to see how he looks in that role against the Chiefs. Now, as a runner, I don't know how much we'll see of him since he just got here again, but as I said earlier in the week, I am really, really excited about the skill set that he brings at the running back position, and I think eventually he will have a significant role running the ball for this offense, so I can't wait to see how he's able to contribute. Speaking of the run game though, they're obviously going to have to be much better in that area this week than they were last week, especially against the defense that did a fantastic job stopping Saquon Barkley in the run game in the Super Bowl last year. So hopefully they're able to fix things and be much more effective on the ground this time. And even though KC does have a very tough run defense, obviously, it sounds like Saquon Barkley believes that they're very close to breaking through.
I mean, at the end of the day, more times than not, it always come down to us. But you got to give credit where credit's due. Dallas did a really good job. We got to do a better job in the little things, including myself, and always starts with myself, especially in the run game. And just get ready for next week and the challenge we have against Kansas City.
One of the things Jordan said was that he felt like you guys were like one block away, and the line was like one block away from the screen. Did you kind of get that sense against the Cowboys too?
Yeah, 100%. I definitely got the sense, but I might be naive, but I'm just super confident in those guys up front and our play calling, and in myself, that I always believe we're one block away.
I think there's definitely some truth to what Saquon was saying there, but I also honestly think a lot of the success in the run game depends on the play calling. And last week, I feel like Kevin Patullo's heavy, condensed run packages allowed the Cowboys to just stack the box, and in turn, it negatively impacted the run game. So hopefully they learn from that and improve this week. That said, again, the Chiefs' run defense is really, really good, while their pass defense really did struggle in their Week 1 opener. Now, obviously, Steve Spagnuolo always presents a great challenge with the creative ways that he sends pressure and just tries to get after the quarterback, but we've also seen Jalen Hurts have a lot of success going up against Spags in the past, so hopefully that's able to continue this week, and Hurts in the passing game are able to make Casey's defense pay on the back end when they get a little aggressive. And again, that Chiefs secondary did not look very good in Week 1, so hopefully the Eagles can expose that. And what better way to do that than by getting the ball to their 2 star receivers on the outside in A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Now, obviously, last week, both of those guys were extremely quiet. Again, I think part of that had to do with the play calling, so hopefully Patullo and the coaches can clean that up. But I think this week is a prime opportunity for both A.J. and Smitty to have bounce-back performances. And for A.J. Brown specifically, I just got a feeling that he's going to have a really big performance against this KC secondary, especially after the fantastic news that he revealed earlier this week, as it seems like he's not injured after all.
I had 0 separation and
all that
decoy, all that, and which is crazy because none of those things were true. I got zoned the entire game. I didn't get not one single man rep, so obviously there won't be any separation, and I'm not hurt on, and I wasn't a decoy, just kind of how the game went.
I was one of the people saying that A.J. Brown's injury might have played a factor in his quiet Week 1 performance, especially after I watched the tape, but if A.J. says he's not hurt, then I'm going to believe him. So, obviously that is amazing news, and again, watch out for A.J. Brown to have a big game against the Chiefs on Sunday. And I think that's even more likely with Dallas Goedert now set to miss this game, as he was officially listed as out on Friday's injury report after he missed practice the entire week with a surprise knee injury. And obviously, this is not good news, and both the Eagles' pass and run games definitely take a hit with Goedert not being in the lineup. But aside from that, the rest of the Eagles' injury news has been mostly good, as even though Will Shipley and also backup tackle Cameron Williams have been ruled out of this game, Tanner McKee is surprisingly questionable with that right thumb injury, and also Landon Dickerson and Jalix Hunt were full participants in practice on Friday and will play in this game. And overall, I'm expecting a really fun, tough matchup between the Eagles and Chiefs this Sunday, but I do think the Eagles are the better team, and even on the road in a hostile environment, I'm going to pick them to win by a final score of 27-23. And hopefully the refs don't help the Chiefs out too much in this one. Shout out to One Way Dully for the comment, by the way. But yeah, again, I got the Eagles winning 27-23. But that said, what do you guys think? Give me your score predictions for this Eagles vs. Chiefs game down in the comments below. And also, while you're at it, make sure you subscribe and you turn on notifications so you don't miss any other Eagles coverage coming throughout the rest of this season. Again, trust me, you're not going to want to miss anything. And also, leave a like down below because it really does help me out a ton. Let's see if we can get to at least 500 likes today. You guys have been killing it recently, so I really appreciate that. Again, hit the like button and also hit the hype button as well. It's a new thing. I don't really exactly know what it does, but I know it helps me out. So make sure you hit that as well. And if you do want to watch another Eagles video, you can check this out right here. And now with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.